So, welcome to another episode of the APX Podcast. We have a guest coming all the way from San Mateo, Rizal. We have Arnel here. Arnel, please tell us about you, your experience as a VA, and how long have you been a VA?
All right, hi everyone. My name is Arnel and I'm from San Mateo. I've been working as a VA for 7 years in total. So before I became VA, I worked as a assistant supervisor for a glass company in Quezon City. So it was then that I decided to work as a VA because I want to be with my family because I'm a family man. I don't want to lose. I mean, I don't want to spend time with working, not monitor my kids because I'm hands-on dad with my boys. So yeah, that's basically it.
And you didn't mention to me earlier that you were part of a church?
Yeah, I'm a pastor. I'm a
Wow!
working pastor and I'm a VA at the same time. So, been working as a pastor for almost 2 decades already. Working as a VA for 7 years, but I never stopped working as an individual because I'm a father. I'm a provider of my family's need. So I'm still a pastor. I'm still working. So yeah, I'm comfortable with it. I really enjoy doing it.
I'm happy about what you said because there's this misconception that VAs mostly come from the BPO industry or they come from other careers, but a pastor, to me, this is a first, and maybe to many, this is a first. But I know there are a lot of VAs out there who are just like you and other professions that we never expect, right? So I'm happy and I'm glad that you made it all the way from San Mateo just to be with us in this podcast. And can you describe how you decided to pursue your VA career apart from just because your reasons about family and all this? What got your attention to take on the VA role?
Yeah, there was this one question that I had in my mind about this industry. Like I heard about freelancers, remote workers. I'm seeing it most of the time on the internet, but I don't know how to start. And then when one time there was a trial that you want to be a freelancer, then there were scammers there. So I tried, and then I worked there for 3 months, and I've never get paid. I was scammed, and well, I made it as a challenge rather than a problem because I do believe that there's no problem, only solution. So I said I can do this because when I was young, I really love doing marketing, doing any designs from the church, and I love promoting uh, church activities. So when I decided to work as a VA, it was then that I applied directly. There was no company because there were no companies who will honor uh, religious people to apply for their company. Like it's strange to them for them. No way. You are a pastor. You cannot work in this company. So I get declined from the application. So it was then that I decided to, as long as the internet is available, I'm sure I'm sure I will be successful in this industry. So I love designing. I love doing marketing. So I started exploring YouTube University.
It's, I'm sorry, I need to cut you off. The part where you said that companies are not comfortable with someone, I wouldn't say religious, but someone who is a religious practitioner is sort of discriminating that
Yeah.
type of, well, not character, but that type of background.
Yeah, really, because it's strange because there are two reasons probably. One is they think that I'm rich because I'm a pastor. I don't need money.
What
I
is the
don't need
biggest
job.
misconception of being a
Yeah, yeah.
pastor?
So I think they think that oh, I think you don't need a job.
I
There was a
see.
time that I applied for a job and he said, "You don't need a job. You have money already." And then the second thing is that uh, I have no experience with uh, working in the companies. So my line of duties are from the church. So that's totally different. So when I tried to apply, I I was declined most of the time because I think that's the mindset probably when they think of a pastor working. Probably those people who interviewed me were Christians. Probably they're not comfortable accepting pastors to work in their job and be under the system, the company,
Can
probably.
can you describe to me your experience with YouTube University and how you landed the first job that accepted you to work as a VA with a pastor background?
It's a good question. Well, YouTube University, there are no requirements. Whether you're a pastor, whether you did not graduate for any courses,
No discrimination.
no discrimination at all. And then anyone can access the information. And there's no police that will, apprehend you because, oh, you're not graduate of digital marketing. So you're not allowed to watch or anything. So when I started uh, my journey as a VA, I spent 6 hours a day on YouTube University. So what I did is traditional. I wrote everything on yellow
Yellow pad.
yellow pad. So that's really full of yellow pads there on my table, literally. And I pasted it there on the table. And then whenever I tried to review things and learn things, I put that into writing. I love writing.
And I think that's one of the secrets. If you write it down, you remember it,
Yes,
right?
exactly. And uh, I am very much determined to to pursue this job because the resources are there. Anyone can access the information, and I want to do the opposite. Like if pastors are not allowed to get a job, then I must go and get a job because there are pastors there as well who are struggling with finances, and I want to be set. I want to set an example that if I can do this, anyone can do this. There's no limit.
What was the first job that you got accepted just by having the background of YouTube University and having a background as a pastor?
Cold calling, just like I mentioned earlier.
Was this the
That's
scam?
I got no, 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 no.
It's
That
after you got
Yeah,
scammed.
I got scammed 4 times
Oh my.
before I became a successful VA. So, and the first one, really official one, was called calling insurance company. But I got sick and they fired me because that's a very terrible experience. Because when I got sick and I asked permission that I can't work today because I'm sick, and they wrote me a letter and said you're fired now. So I did not decide to quit because I'm not a quitter. I I I I I believe that that was a stepping stone for me to be a successful person or VA. So that was the first one, and the second one was. Am I allowed to answer
Sure,
the
sure,
second one? The
please.
second one was I get hired by Andrea. So, and Andrea said, "All right, so it's hard to apply for a VA in the company, so why not apply to us?" So I applied, and yeah, I'm confident because Andrea was there. She can help me uh, to start. So the rest is history.
Everything was under your nose.
Yeah,
It was just right there.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
But I do believe that you trying to apply in companies outside Vavavoom is quite the experience, because with that experience, that gave you the chance to improve yourself and to actually grow from that. As a VA right now, what do you do? What are you focused on?
yeah. I focus on mostly on marketing,
Okay.
email marketing, ads. I market my clients' business to different part of UK's. I'm my expertise is on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Ads on LinkedIn.
ads on LinkedIn, everything on LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, getting leads from there, and then I do podcasts as well. With my I do podcast marketing with my UK clients. So that's what I do now, and strategy. I should say that I'm good at strategy with regards to digital marketing. So I'm head of strategy. I'm working with Richard Evans on the strategy side of digital marketing.
That's impressive. And how long did it take you to become a digital marketing strategist?
It took me 4 years really
Wow. Wow.
to 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 say that I'm a master of this industry already.
Was this all from still from YouTube University, or did you take courses
I,
outside?
I, I
Did
took
you invest?
courses, and then most of the time I've read books, ebooks, and because I really like reading. So uh, then then I apply these principles, the structures, the system. I think the systems are all the same. It's just that you need to be familiarized with how you use it and to be in it. So uh, it took me 4 years to be a master of these things, with all the written notes and materials that I use, and
The
enrolled
notepads.
notepads, and enrolled a lot of courses, and I've joined also free courses on. I'm chasing on Eventbrite for free free
It's
courses. Yeah,
still
yeah,
as of now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm very sure that a lot of VAs out there are still going through what you went through when you were just starting off. What would your top three advice to give to people who want to start their VA careers?
You need to be determined, because if you are impatient with a certain thing, you won't be successful. But if you are determined, regardless of struggles and hurdles that you are going to face, it won't affect the the determination inside you, because you want to win it all the time. So the second thing is that if you are a father, if you are a mother, no one would take care of your family's need except you. You have to decide, you have to love the position of being a father and a mother. And if you see your children, you know, you're improving the quality of their lives, then you have to you have to think of your family. That's the second thing. The third thing is that there are people out there who has been, I mean, struggling with finances, especially we are in this country, Philippines. They have the skills, they have the interest, but if no one would really take a commitment to teach these people up, then how can they, how can their lives be improved, and you know my mission in life is I want to study these things to pass it on to other people for free. So I always offer free training to my friends, to my families, to people who are interested. Because I don't want them to go through with what I have been through. Because the resources before were limited. But now you have all the access. So if you just need motivation, the end of the game is that I want pastors to do what I'm doing. I want them to get motivated. Hey, you have families to provide for their needs, and then we are in this country that you know we have to work hard. So why not? Why not?
Great, thank you. Thank you for the advice. I believe that specific advice is also mainly targeted to pastors and anyone who practices the religious background of our lives. And you struck me as a person of lots of patience. Any advice on how to actually practice that? Because all of us these days, especially the younger generations, are very impatient. It took you 4 years to get to the level of skill that you are at right now. What are your tips on how to become more patient, how to be more resourceful, and how to deal with everything moving fast?
Well, I'm a believer of nothing comes nothing comes out when nothing comes in. Like if you don't really study these things, you don't get uh, things like you don't be successful as a person, not only as a VA in general. If you don't want to learn things, you will never be a successful person because learning is progressive and the resources I always say this that the resources are always available and there's no reason to be impatient because the resources are there already and there are a lot of videos on YouTube you can learn from. And my greatest advice is always think of if people can do this, you can do this. There's no limit. There's no limit. So you have to be in it to win it. Otherwise, you will stay with your mindset and you will never grow and you will never be a successful person. Even if a VA or pastor or any professional work, yeah.
Any recommendations on resources for VAs tackling the digital marketing space? Any resources you could recommend, maybe on YouTube or books that you've read in the past? Can you give me at least a few?
If there's one person who is really an expert of digital marketing, Gary V.
Okay.
I watch his video all the time, and he's really a good speaker. He has all the ideas and materials that he can share, motivation at all walks of life. Like even if you're old, if you're young, then you can still uh, uh, catch up. You can still work as a VA, like something like that.
And what's your second resource?
The second resource is Neil Patel. He's really
The
good.
SEO guy.
Yeah, he's really good in digital marketing as well. So, yeah, and of course, you join Vavavum page because we have resources as well there.
You did mention that you're willing to train other people to improve their lives. Do you offer trainings that you have personally put together to VAs who are interested?
Yeah, I do offer free training. I'm I'm about to start my podcast as well, VA podcast. We
Wow.
call it VA Couple Podcast.
Oh, so it's gonna
Couple.
be more of a couple thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
couple thing.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that.
So uh, that's one way of helping people, because using the internet to give information to people is much easy rather than face to face, because and when you start training people online, even if they're at work, in their home, and what they're doing, they can still learn rather than going face to face all the time. So, well, I'm limiting myself to some people only, because
Right now.
when you offer free, when you offer training for free,
Everyone will.
yeah, of course, they want to give value
True.
to that. So,
That's true.
there is one thing that I'd like to say to people when I train them: buy knowledge. You have to buy it, because when you buy knowledge, you will value everything in it.
That's true. I think the best term for that is invest,
Invest, of course.
because
Yeah.
generally people nowadays they see it as an expense. Not knowing is there's a difference between investing in an expense. When you invest, there's a return. When you spend, your pockets are always empty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's great that your free trainings are limited. Is there, can you tell us what's the name of the podcast you're coming up with so we could market it, we could share it with VA, I'm assuming couples and parents and family members. So, what's the name of your podcast? Upcoming
The
podcast?
name of the podcast is the Couple VA Podcast.
Couple VA.
VA Couple Podcast.
Okay, all
So
right.
mostly on couple working together as remote workers, freelancers, VAs.
That's nice. Tandem VAs. No. That's a great, that's a, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very interesting show. I'd love to be a part of it.
Yeah, of
we
course.
could, we could, although my partner isn't a VA, she has her own thing. But so, ladies and gentlemen, VAs all around the world and the Philippines, we have, do I call you Pastor Arnel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
We have a one of a kind VA, Pastor Arnel. Where can we contact you in case that we want to learn from you more, go under your wing and train with you? Is there any specific avenue that we can contact you?
Yeah, most of my learnings and knowledge, I share it with Vavavoom.
Okay.
You can contact me through Vavavoom, because I'm one of the trainers as well with the newly hired trainees. So I train them for digital marketing.
Okay.
So
So for those wonder what Vavavoom is an agency, and they're an agency that provides training. So Pastor Arnel is one of the trainers, and only at his free time he gives, I think, the free training. But most of the time, you could find his trainings with Vavavoom, and probably just tune in to his podcast or just Google, and we'll put the links down to the description. All the social links, any resources that Pastor Arnel has provided, and hopefully you guys can check him out. And any last advice that you want to give out, especially to pastors and religious, I would say people with religious backgrounds that practice the religious aspect of their profession. What is your most top advice you would give?
yes, the top of advice, or the last advice that I'm going to share is: as long as there is internet, any walks of life can do what we can do, because we have the same resources. The common denominator is that we have internet. And if you want to apply as a VA, if you want to work as a VA, even if you are a pastor or a religious leader, this is really fit for us, because it won't take much of your time. You can I've been pastoring for 20 years, and at the same time I'm still working as a VA. That's really possible. So there's no limit. Well, get into it. Get into it. It will be innovating, and I'm mastering AI nowadays. So that's one thing that I'd like to do, because one every year there is a goal. I have a goal. I have to win one thing every year. So this year, 2024, actually the latter part of 2023, I want to win AI. I want to be in it. So every day I watch 2 hours video for AI. So yeah, that's more exciting because
We have a one of a kind VA. We have Pastor Arnel with us. He's got great tips and advice, wisdom overall for aspiring VAs, also to pastors and anyone practicing religion or the religious profession. And it's great having you. Thank you for making the time. Pastor Arnel came all the way from San Mateo, Rizal.
yes, yes.
So a shout out to all the church members around his area and his church, especially. What's the name of your church?
The Gospel of Grace Bible Church.
There we have it. Pastor Arnel, thank you, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you very much.